Hey everybody, Sam Bowen here with another In Defense of Bad Movies Minisode. In Defense of Bad Movies is, of course, the podcast where we watch a bad movie, or a movie that is generally regarded as bad, but at least one of us likes it. And this week will be no exception. I say week like it's a weekly podcast. This time it will be no exception, as we are doing 2005's Constantine. I just now realized I did not look up its Rotten Tomatoes score, but I know it is not high. This stars Keanu Reeves as the titular Constantine, and our good friend Laura will be defending it, and I don't think she'll be alone in defending it. Spoiler alert. This also will not just... I know what you're thinking. Oh, Laura. Okay, she's the guest. Awesome. It's just the four of them. We are doing an IDOBM all-star episode. Woo, 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 woo. I don't know what those sound effects are, but that's okay. This is not a morning zoo show, so I don't need sound effects. Auga! Okay, maybe I do. So, yeah, we will have some of our favorite guests. Not all of our favorite guests, because there have been many. But we will be returning to the show will be Ronnie, Leah, and Jesse. You've heard them on such episodes as Space Jam. When they co-opted the show and did Jingle All the Way, you heard that, which was a vastly inferior episode to the ones that we do, but still pretty entertaining. So, yeah, do check it out. Let's see, what else do we do on this show? Oh yeah, we do a minisode where my good friends Sam and Loren talk about TV theme songs, and this one is no exception. Again, we are just sticking to the script right now. And without further ado, let's send it over to Sam and Loren with Themes Like Good Times.
Out of the window, watching the asphalt road, thinking how it all looks hand-me-down. Hey, yeah. Good times, keeping your head above water, making a way when you can. Temporary layoffs. Good times.
Good Times is recorded on tape before a live audience.
Ain't we lucky we got 'em?
Hi everybody, Sam here with Themes Like Good Times. I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host Loren.
Hello.
Hi Loren, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing alright. I noticed you're doing something with the title of the episode.
What did I say?
Themes Like Good Times.
Oh,
twice.
Wow. That was clearly a Freudian slip. We are the show is Themes Like Good Times. God dang it! The show that we do.
It's just good times.
This show is called Themes Like Old Times.
Old Times. Because
old times is when they would put theme songs. It was the golden day of TV theme songs. Mm-hmm. And this episode is no exception. We are going to do, as you might have pieced together by the banter, Good Times, show ran from 6 seasons from February 74 to August of 79. This is one of the mini shows Norman Lear produced, he is the genius behind All in the Family, The Jeffersons, which we did earlier. Did we do All in the Family too?
I don't know that we did.
We'll have to at some point. The reason I chose this one, a couple reasons actually. One is that it is Black History Month right now, and to honor that in our own little way, like this makes it sound like, oh yes, we're honoring black people like that. It's really not. It's more of a we've lately been having theme months is like what we're watching on TV because, the quarantine, that's all we do is watch TV. And previous months have included like old movies or classic movies. December was Christmas movies.
That was a little bit of a cheat.
Yeah.
Sort of.
We kind of didn't
We
do
didn't
much.
start terribly early.
Right,
So
yeah.
we're only a few months deep.
Right, yeah. Like November was the first one we did. So we decided that February would be a good month to do where every day we watch at least something with a black lead. And we've been mixing it up. We've done Jeffersons. We've done Living Single. We made a return to that. We've done Blackish. And the other day we did Good Times, which is a show I don't remember. I didn't watch a whole heck of a lot. And Lauren, you didn't watch it all.
I've never seen Good Times. I know they were all sort of a bit early for me, so what I might have caught was, some syndicated shows
Right.
in
And
the middle of a
that's-
Sunday afternoon. So I remember a little bit of Jeffersons, a tiny bit of Amen, 227, never Good Times.
I did watch Amen and 227 live. Not live, but I watched those when they were new. That's dating myself quite a bit. I did not watch Good Times when it was new. I did watch in syndication. And I remember it not being super top tier as to, like, what I watched. Like, I was a big Three's Company fan. I loved Bewitched. Good Times was like, okay, if it's on and
I'm a child and we'll watch whatever's happening on this box.
Exactly. But I've always very fondly remembered the theme song. And in watching this episode, I could see why I wasn't a huge fan. It was entertaining enough, I think, but
Right,
it was
nice.
It was of its time.
It's certainly, that's been the hardest thing, realizing how stylistically just how shows have changed. So watching things from the 80s, 70s, even the 90s a bit, where it's
Yeah.
like, it's so rote sitcom, big
Yeah.
characters, like, kind of saw that joke coming a mile away.
Yeah.
And doesn't make it bad, because
No.
there's, a classic, like, it works for a reason, but it's definitely, we don't watch TV like this anymore.
Yeah, no. we have... this would not be appointment television. This would be like, it's on... there are 3 networks.
I've had a hard day. I just
Yeah.
want to watch something pleasant.
Yeah. But are you going to get that from Good Times, actually? Because the Norman Lear shows, famously, they dealt with heavy issues.
But that feels like what makes them valuable.
No, I agree,
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Like, a friend of mine a while ago recommended the the Carmichael show.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of had the same problem with that as I do with this, is that the show, I didn't find it that funny. I think Gerard Carmichael is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it was just the formulaic way the show was. It harkened back to old TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, like you said, we don't watch TV like that
Yeah.
anymore.
Big setting up of punchlines, kind of obvious, setups.
Right. But the thing that I did like about it was every episode it made you think, and it showed different points of view, and that's where you're and especially as a white male, who middle class white male, these are things I don't see. I don't see poor... Carmichael wasn't that, but Good Times was poor black people. They're living in the projects. And
that was really, it felt like an MO for Norman Lear. I don't know if television at the time was sort of getting better at this, but it feels definitely reactionary to, like, Ozzie and Harriet, Leave It to Beaver,
Yeah.
and, like, forget your middle class, like, perfect families. We're gonna do, family sitcom, but we're gonna toss in a commentary on how the welfare state is broken.
right. And I think it's fantastic. And it's also a good, like I said, we watched the Jeffersons, and there was a bit of like, well, this is something white America who thinks that racism is over would love a show where a black man becomes successful and through hard work, and they would surreptitiously put in the more liberal messages on the show. So it was a good, like, Trojan horse to get it in. This one is not that Trojan horse. This one is like, these are poor black people. They are working hard. They are still not making money.
But they're still, they're a working class family as
Yes.
well. Like, it's a universal experience. I'm
It
sure,
is.
like, any American could see themselves in this family.
100%.
In the one episode I've seen, and I feel very strongly about this. But the episode was a good episode. It was, the dad had worked really hard to, like, get this accreditation because he was a construction worker, and he got qualified to, like, work the big guns, and, could not find a job even with all that hard work. And it's, universal stories.
And that goes, his education, it was a trade education, but it also, it goes to what a lot of middle-class Americans are dealing with now, which is you were promised, you go to college, maybe we weren't quite promised this, but the 50s promised people, if you go to college, when you get out of college, you've got it made. You're going to be fine. And I feel like this is how the father felt in this. It was like he got his accreditation thing. Mm-hmm. He should be fine, but he was horribly misled. The jobs just weren't out there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Interesting. The other reason I thought that it was going to be either Golden Girls or Good Times, and I went with Good Times because
shows.
Right, but because the Black History Month thing that I was talking about, and also when I was looking at this on Wikipedia, I found this, which is interesting, that in September of 2020, Netflix greenlit an animated sitcom revival of the show with Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane and NBA star Steph Curry.
Oh.
Yeah, which I don't know how into that I am, but at least it makes this episode a little timely.
It does make this episode timely. Wow,
yeah.
I don't know about that. That's not fair. I'm sure Seth MacFarlane can center himself enough that it wouldn't be Family Guy, but with
I hope so.
Working Class Family.
G-Flow, this reminds me of the time that I don't know, did something stupid and met somebody. Yeah, I don't want that from Good Times.
Yeah. Like, part of what makes them all nice is that they predate sarcasm. And that's not fair. Like, the characters can be, sarcastic and sassy, but, it predates the sarcasm of the 90s and beyond. It's like, nothing matters. Who cares?
The nihilism.
The nihilism
Thank you,
of
Seinfeld.
it all.
Yeah. So, let's see what else. Good Times spun off from Maude. This
Good
is all...
Good Times spun off from Maude? How did it?
Florida, was apparently Maude's maid, and this was just in looking at Wikipedia. Maude is one that I've never seen, and I kind of... That makes me sad, because B. Arthur is great, and... I mean, it's like, if it was between these black shows, these shows that deal with race, or Maude, which... I think dealt with women's issues right now. Yeah, the ones with race might be just slightly more important socially. The women's issues are very important too.
They're all important always.
No, you're right.
They're just a little more talked about right now.
I think
former.
Yeah, I don't know. Both groups are being crapped on, but
through history.
Yeah, through history. You're right. You're right.
It's okay. It's okay. You're trying.
But my point is, I want to see Maude.
That would be fun. I would see Maude. I love the reality of the Lyriverse that you've sort of helped illuminate to me, because I was always just sort of vaguely aware of these shows, and then so that one is a spin-off of, like, how many things spun off from All in the Family?
Yeah.
Mods, Jeffersons. It's sort of fun.
It's neat, yeah.
This is just a thing, and I don't know if other people were doing it at the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
And spin-off shows are such a... Like, so few have been successful in my lifetime or consciousness, so the idea that normally just all of his shows were connected and it was fun and we were all cool with it.
I wonder how much it had to do with these characters are opinionated. I mean, these characters bring something because they are such a, like on the Jeffersons, it was Archie getting this black neighbor, and Archie was a racist, and it resonated. So you can't just bring some just like milquetoast black guy in. You've got to bring a George Jefferson who has a lot of opinion, and he's got to be able to butt heads with Archie. And I'm wondering if that's how it was with Maude too. And Jefferson had this. I'm going to mask the Jefferson stuff onto what I think Maude might have been, but in watching that, you've got a very sassy maid who doesn't put up with bullshit. And I'm wondering if that's what Flo was, too, although she seems much nicer than the Marla Gibbs maid in Jeffersons. I feel like I'm monopolizing this conversation, which is a bit of a necessity because I'm more familiar with the show than you are. But do you have anything interesting to say before we get to the theme song itself? That's okay if you don't.
No.
Okay. So let's watch the theme song.
Okay.
Not listen, we'll be listening, we'll be watching, we'll be talking about it. This one has the lyrics. We found a one that has lyrics on it, too. And I actually should, because I'm going to get information from this, I should share where this came from. It is a YouTube video. It was just put out there by Ray. Oh, well, maybe I'll put it in the show notes or something. But
do you need to?
I don't know that I need to. Anyway, let's just watch the theme. So we've got open on the word. We've got a black screen there. It opens on good times. We'll do the singing later. And we're going over the Chicago skyline.
Is it Chicago? Did you confirm?
I did, yeah.
Yes, that was our experience watching it. Like, is that Chicago?
and then it focuses in on the projects that they're in, which is apparently
Caprini Green.
there's Janet Dubois, who was gorgeous.
Oh yeah, she was stupid pretty.
I had a crush. Oh man, I had a crush on her. I think that was why I watched the show as a kid.
That might be the only thing. Like, everyone else feels really like real and not Hollywoodified, except she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
What about JJ? He's good looking guy, right?
Well, he's got a lot of character. I also don't have him placed in a specific time. Oh, I hate that it ends on the painting.
It ends on a painting, and we don't see any characters
so
in the opening
strange.
theme.
Yeah, it's just panning over the city.
And then there's a closing theme on this, which I do kind of like. It's the
The outro focuses on the painting even more.
It's a weird painting.
I wonder if there's some story to the painting, like if it was in an episode, or if
that
it's
would be
just
interesting.
What, you don't have a crazy painting of your family? We do.
Yeah, it's like Schitt's Creek. That huge painting. Oh, I liked this too. There was just glancing at the closing credits in this episode. One of the guests was Jay Leno.
Oh dear.
And
I do like the song. It is
it's a cool,
bright. And...
Yeah. I was saying that last night that, like, man, the black shows in the 70s had all the best theme songs. And it not just the 70s, too. Like, 227's got a good theme song. Amen's got a good theme song.
They knew how to roll out the bangers. Not like your weird orgy-fueled Three's Company theme tune. Your lounge singers coming out, doing your easy listening theme tunes.
So when I was doing research on this, I looked. It had a list of notable guest stars, and one of them was Jay Leno. And he wasn't a guest star at the time. He was like, a nobody, because he played young man. And
Young man.
And apparently in this episode, it was the first time VD/STDs were discussed on
/STIs.
A network /STIs were discussed on network television. So I wonder if Jay Leno was the the VD guy, venereal disease guy.
Who's the face of VD?
Yeah, he was
like
the
Joey Tribbiani.
Joey LeBlanc, or Matt LeBlanc, Joey Tribbiani. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of neat.
That's interesting. So okay, they wouldn't do like on the nose topical thing.
Yeah, very much so.
I like it.
Me too. And it kind of makes me respect the Carmichael show now more that they were trying to do that.
Yeah, I really appreciate it because it's a great medium to bring those things out.
100%.
Like, we're just a sitcom, we're just trying to, it is the spoonful of sugar to get out your ideas.
Yeah.
And
it's that aforementioned Trojan horse. It's like, this is just a regular old family sitcom. We have opinions and they're liberal and you're not going to like them maybe.
And, it helps to, not everyone's watching hard-hitting documentaries and commentary. Yeah. So it's like, let's...
Yeah.
Try to make this palatable, but just so this is going on and you should hear it.
Yeah, it's force-feeding these people information that they need to know. And hopefully they're getting a chuckle while they're doing it and empathizing. Yeah, who knows?
That's it. Just gives you a touch. We're not trying to lay it on too thick, but just so you know, this is what people are experiencing. Yeah. Maybe you've experienced it. It's fine and we can talk about it.
Yeah, and we should talk about it. So before we actually sing the song, I mentioned before that I needed to cite my sources. Because we didn't talk about the lyrics, which were the songwriters are Alan and Marilyn Bergman, and they were posted in a 2008 Jet magazine article, which I think is awesome because just based on contextual from what this says, it says, so forget about this hanging in a chow line mess jive turkey, which will be apparently were misheard lyrics for this.
Oh, really?
I'm guessing that's what that's all about.
Oh, I see.
Hanging in and jiving.
Oh, I see.
And that's, I don't know, just funny. So thank you to 2008, this 2008 Jet Magazine article. So now, without further ado, us singing the theme song. Oh, by the way.
Oh, this is going to be so bad.
It has opening and closing.
Oh, God.
So we will be doing them both.
Good
times anytime you need a payment. Good times
anytime you need a friend.
Good times anytime you're out from under. Knocking hassled, knocking and hustled. Keeping your head above water. Making a wave when you can. Temporary layoffs. Good times.
Easy credit rip-offs.
Good times. Scratching and surviving. Good times.
Hanging in and jiving.
Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em. Good times.
Who made that painting?
I always love songs that go out with the. Just looking out of the window, watching the asphalt grow, thinking how it all looks hand-me-down.
Good times.
Keeping your head above water, making a wave when you can. Temporary layoffs. Good times.
Easy credit rip-offs.
Good times. Ain't we lucky we got 'em. Good times.
Yeah.
And I believe we had John Amos doing the Good Times is recorded on tape before a live studio audience.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
On tape. Like, that's something you want to brag about, right?
Tape is a brand new thing. It's very
Yes.
fancy.
Film is so much better, guys.
Tape's gonna last forever.
Oh boy. I mean, we're still watching the show, so. So, gosh, any last words about Good Times?
I'm keen to watch more of the show.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
And
I'm glad you liked it enough.
Yeah, and we have sort of talked also just what happened to middle to lower class sitcoms. It sort of feels like, and I could be wrong on this because we don't watch all of the TVs, but it really feels like there's been a trend in more aspirational, like, families that live in beautiful homes and have really, like, nice lives. I feel like the middle class family has sort of fallen away in the, family sitcom. It's not gone entirely, but it feels like it was a lot more represented.
I think the family sitcom in general is...
That's fair.
It's in a rough place right now.
Yeah,
and
it's transitioning.
And on the other hand, because we are grown-ass people who do not have kids, we do not necessarily watch the quote-unquote family shows. So maybe that Last Man Standing, I can't imagine, is a good show. Maybe... I don't know.
Maybe that's fair. Like, when I think of the quality family sitcoms of the last few years, and I guess we're not watching most of them, but, like, Your Speechlesses I was quite fond of, and, that's actually... No, go ahead.
And what, it lasted a couple seasons?
Yeah.
So that's sad.
Modern Family in the beginning was very good, but they're all super wealthy.
Yeah. And we went back to Blackish. We only watched the pilot of that, but it was obvious that this is an upper middle class family.
Ooh, upper.
Upper, yeah. Definitely, they ain't living in the projects, that's for sure. So we'll watch more of it then.
Yeah, and anything, and like Roseanne is, I know it's back, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it's not. Or it is the same, and we just have moved on from that. I'm honestly not sure. Like, if I went back and watched an old Roseanne, I wonder how it would be.
But at least, a temple popular depiction of an average.
Oh, yeah, you're right about that, yeah.
Financially.
True. Okay, well, I think that about does it. Let's end this episode with our ceremonial shaking of hands.
Well done, sir. I salute you.
I salute you. All right, thank you, Sam and Loren, and that was a really fun episode of Themes Like Good Times. See, that's how you say the name of that show. No, it's not.
Oh my gosh, you thought you were doing it the right way.
Shut up, Laura.
Or that was... I thought that was the most intentional.
No, I'm just an idiot.
Guys, I'm still here. I love you so much. You've said it so confidently each time. I love it.
Because I thought for a second, times was the word that was wrong. So I'm like, it seems like good times. There it is. Whew, I got it.
But you hit good this time. Seems like good times. That's the title. 100%.
Well, that's because I'm an idiot.
I love you so
the show
much.
is called Themes Like Old Times. Thank you, Sam and Lauren. You're great. God, I said it right that time, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So join us maybe about a week, probably a little bit more than a week, as the In Defense of Bad Movies gang talks about Constantine. And until then, stay safe, America. Guys, we have some late-breaking news. I was derelict in my duty. I mentioned the gorgeous Thelma's Scooby-Doo. But I forgot to mention another gorgeous woman who was on the show. She wasn't a woman at the time, she was a little girl, but Janet Jackson. We got very young appearances of Janet Jackson, and we did not watch an episode with her in it. You can talk.
How old was she? Like, how old was her character?
I don't know. I want to
Never
say
ask a lady's age. But...
tween, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah. So she wasn't a little girl, but she was, you know...
Was she like the youngest son's friend? Or live in the building?
I honestly don't remember. And
okay.
Speaking of things I don't remember, but which will pique your interest, the father on the show, John Amos, was only there the first 3 seasons, and then they killed off the character. Now, what?
It's just, guys, just to pique your interest, a horrible tragedy happens in the middle of the show.
3 seasons in, yeah. They did 3 seasons after that too, and we were just watching an SNL kind of parody about Good Times and how just the family kept getting shit on, and especially after watching that, I'm like, yeah, of course the father was killed. They're like, oh, we haven't done anything horrible to this family in a while. Let's kill the father.
Patriarch Dance, Good Times.
Single mother raising children.
Good Times. He was the breadwinner.
His pension, ain't we lucky we got it?
Oh,
I
hope
don't know.
he had a pension.
Yeah, me too. Wow.
What are those like? Sorry.
Also, I think the episode we were watching last night was season 3, so if he got a job, this was his last season. Maybe it was season 1. I don't know. Who knows? But that Delma was a hottie. I would, as a kid who had an attractive sibling growing up, and I was that much, and I was not.
Oh,
at least
I don't like where this is going.
From my own personal opinion, I did not find myself attractive. I could feel for JJ.
Oh, I see.
Because he was in. I'm not sure where this was going. Where you thought it was going.
Talking about your attractive
No.
sister.
Nothing like. I mean, I was told she was attractive, and I believe her because she was popular with boys. Or I believe whoever said she was attractive. I do not see her in that way. However, I definitely did see me in a way that, like, oh yeah, I'm not attractive, and
Sweetie.
I think I'm more attractive now than I was then.
You were a little bit of a late bloomer. That doesn't mean you were not a fine-looking young man. And let's be fair, JJ looks bananas. Don't compare yourself.
He looks a little bit like a banana. He's so skinny.
He's a beanpole.
Yeah.
He's got an interesting face.
He does. Also, and I hate to say this, but I watched some stuff. I watched some Match Game with Jimmy Walker on it, and who played JJ. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was that funny.
That might not be the fairest comparison, though, because often in those, since we cut the cord, a lot of the game show, not even the Game Show Network, but
Buzzer.
Yeah.
Buzzr.
The off-brand version of Game Show Network is often a placeholder on the TV, so we have to watch a lot of these. And it feels like a lot of celebrities aren't bringing their A games to these game shows they were asked to do midday in Culver City.
They were drinking. They should have been having fun. Excuse me.
So, I mean, maybe he was not at his best, because it feels
maybe.
like plenty of people we're seeing are not really excited to be where they are.
I will give him, I will say that is fair. I know he was a regular at the Comedy Store, so he was a working comedian at the time, and maybe he was funnier than those performances would let on. And, like, his performance was good. He did a good job. Just because the character was broad and the show was broad doesn't mean that these aren't good performances.
Right.
I love Esther Roll, by the way.
That's the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is such
sweet.
she's so sweet. She's got just this kind face, this big huggable body.
I want to say something, and I want to be careful of how it sounds, but seeing so many shows that are the slub husband and the gorgeous wife.
Oh.
We've been watching a lot of shows lately from the 70s where both partners are normal.
Yeah.
Like, Jefferson's as well. Like, he's, a normal-looking older gentleman, and she is a normal-looking, full-figured older woman, and, like, they love each other, and it's fine, and, like, it's nice to see.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to this big old slob's got his model wife.
Yeah. Courtney Thorne Smith and, what's his name? and
Oh,
Jim,
and Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi. Like, that is the picture.
Not that doesn't happen.
Yeah, of course.
And also not the dumb damn trope of the slob, ridiculous husband and the poor, beleaguered, saintly wife who puts up with it.
Yeah.
Like, they are normal people.
There were, Jefferson's had a little bit of that in that.
But it's not,
But
he's
not-
not pointless.
No.
He's definitely there. He's got his
selfish.
flaws.
Yeah.
And she helps him through. But
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, why does she put up with him?
Yeah, that is true. Because he's got money, so he actually no.
Well, like, his flaws are, you know, part of it. Like, they serve in useful ways as
yes,
well.
yes. Yeah. Anyway, I hopefully that we've said all we have to say. I think this happens almost every episode where right after I get done recording, I'm like, oh shoot, I want to talk about this, but I usually just let it go. But I mean, I can't not bring up Miss Jackson, and I have to call her that because I'm nasty. So, and I wanted to talk about the other stuff too. So, that without further, whatever. I'll just probably just edit this in. I won't even say that I did it later. All right, bye.
Bye.